What do elegant tea parties, royalty, space robots, and Nazis have in common? Well, they've all been to Bamburgh Castle.
There are many ways of covering ground. You can be conventional and use four wheels. There's nothing wrong with this. You'll have lots of company. Or you may prefer the simplicity of two wheels. Of course, you put more in than you get out. But by replacing muscle power with horsepower, you can ride a Honda, conserve your energy, and enjoy the fun, freedom, and economy of two wheels. A Honda is easy to ride. 200 miles to the gallon. And a Honda costs less to own than a good set of golf clubs. You'll have a lot of fun riding a Honda. Of course, if you must have four wheels, how about another Honda?
Well, they don't call it Bamburgh Castle. It's actually a very popular castle that's been used in quite a few famous movies, although they don't like to tell you it's actually in the north of England. But anyway, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Barely Moving. Today we're going on a trip up the Northumberland coast to Holy Island with my new Honda Supercub C90. We'll be passing some idyllic English towns and castles on our way, and we'll also be stopping off at the famous and quite stunning town of Bamburgh. So today's journey will be a 70-mile stretch up north, which should go by in a flash with my new cruising speed of 45 to 50 miles per hour. Absolutely blistering speed. Now, a bit about Northumberland. It's actually one of my most favourite counties in England, and it's one of the least populated, which, as someone who's spent his formative years in Australia, that really appeals to me. Although with today being a bank holiday and the weather the nicest the year had seen, the traffic was quite bad. Good thing though, I was on my nifty 90, and if you're interested in what I'm riding, I'll put a link at the top of the screen so you can check it out. So as we pass the quaint and lovely little town of Warkworth with its impressive castle, we are unfortunately unable to stop as we're on a bit of a time constraint today to get to Holy Island, because it's only accessible via a small tidal causeway that's only open at specific hours. So if you miss it, you're not getting on the island or getting off if you're already there. But that doesn't stop people trying though, from the absolute multitude of YouTube videos showing people just driving over the water in what they think are 4x4 cars but aren't.
Look, you're doing it again, you're going over there, look at
Just
that.
be quiet, I'm just in the middle of the road here, but Christ, just be quiet.
Those cars better have good rust proofing. So after a quick full throttle test of my new Honda C90 Deluxe, it's time to head deeper into the blossoming hedgerows of the English countryside. So one of the more noticeable changes on this bike compared to my other basic Honda is the fuel gauge that's on the instrument panel. Very high tech indeed. But there was a small fault when I got this bike and it didn't work. Well, I had that fixed and repaired, and it still kind of doesn't work. You drive around 20 miles and it goes from full to empty, so it was a bit of a nerve-wracking journey not knowing how much fuel I actually had. But anyway, after pushing on and stopping about 3 times at a petrol station with range anxiety, we passed through the town of Seahouses, the base point where you catch a ferry to visit the spectacular Farne Islands, where you can see seals, puffins, and a host of other birds for those bird watchers out there. The Farne Islands also being famous for a daring sea rescue by a 22-year-old Grace Darling in 1838, where she and her father rescued 9 sailors stranded on the rocks, which subsequently meant she became famous in Victorian England and had so many fan letters asking for a lock of her hair that she went bald. Oh no, my hair! But a balding woman's house is not our destination today, because look, yonder, those sandy dunes, lies our first major stop on our journey, Bamburgh Castle. Built in the 11th century, Bamburgh Castle is as old as it is awesome. With its imposing buttresses and all-round steely demeanour, no wonder Bamburgh Castle has had such an influence on history, literature and film. But would it surprise you that any person could be the lucky owner of this magnificent Grade 1 listed building for the low price of $29.99? Yes, you sir could live the life of a medieval king. Well, if you own the game Forza Horizon 4, as it's an option that you can base your car garage in the castle, which is pretty weird but cool. What's that? You don't have an expensive gaming computer? Well, never fear! You can still experience Bamburgh in all its glory by renting the Herculean epics of Transformers: The Last Knight. Or you know, this movie called Macbeth. Who's ever heard of that one? Now, as I continue to walk around the castle to set my gaze upon the spectacular sand dunes that make up the Northumberland coast, which is one of the reasons it's classed as an area of outstanding natural beauty, I wander past some entrance defences which look rather out of place in time. Now in this moment I was actually bursting for a pee, so I just wandered past, not thinking much of the barbed wire, sandbags or even the tank defence, thinking that it was all for anti-terrorism or something. But later I actually found out that this is the film location for the new Indiana Jones movie. Apparently it's going to be a Nazi stronghold or something, as a few days later there were swastikas draping the walls of the castle. So, interesting. Anyway, I headed into the dunes to get a vantage point of the spectacular beach. Now, you don't get many beaches like this in England, and to be honest, most days will be too cold to do anything beach-like, especially in the north. But today was absolutely glorious. In this rare instance, I took a moment to take in the view, and then I got back on the road. Now, just a short 20-minute ride north from Bamburgh, we finally set our eyes on the majestic Isles of Holy Island on the horizon. We make our way over the sandy bogland that makes the causeway, which cuts off this historic land from the rest of civilization. Now, there's much history on this tiny island, from Celtic invasions, Viking raids, and a Scottish takeover of the castle, which lasted one day. But how can all that compare to the tasty golden liqueur of the Holy Island Meadery? Yes, we are on sacred ground, ladies and gentlemen, not only because Holy Island was where Christianity was introduced into Northumberland, but because we are at one of the only 17 meaderies in the UK. Yes, here on Holy Island you may partake of the spicy bee juice known as mead, which has its roots on this island since medieval times. Maybe the monks danced the night away in the island priory under the influence of mead. Who knows? But alas, as my time is running out to cross the causeway back to the mainland, I have to head home. And may I thank you now for watching this video. If you've liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel. So I hope you will join me next time for a trip up to the northernmost frontier of the Roman Empire, where I bump into Kevin Costner and his pal Morgan Freeman. So see you guys next time.